sa ating National Sports Summit 2021. Marami man po tayo naging sessions now with our 15th session ngayong hapon na ito. Patuloy po tayo doon sa ating roadmap na tinatahak, sabi nun sa video na to. And that is to create resolutions po, no? And that includes the participation kayo ng ating mga participants ngayong hapon na ito. And joining us today to give her welcome message and also an inspirational message on behalf of the PSC board, can we all welcome our Lady Commissioner, PSC Commissioner Celia Kiram. Ma'am, magandang hapon po.
Magandang hapon, Jowas. Magandang hapon po sa inyong lahat. At ako po'y natutuwa na andito na naman po tayo sa National Philippine Sports Commission National Sports Summit. At maraming pong salamat sa inyong pag-participate. So, beforehand, congratulate ko sila Jowas at the PCCO ng Philippine Sports Commission for a job well done in holding this summit. Okay, so it is a privilege to welcome our online audience to the world of sports industry and sports business, which stands to be strong among the top player to the global market. A quick clarification, the sports industry spans the field of play, from the sporting goods to infrastructure to sporting products, goods and live sports events, from the food and memorabilia at the stadium to the ticketing, media rights, marketing, and sponsorship. Ganito po kalawak ito aming didiscuss the business and business at sports today. In an article of Newswire, one of the world's largest newswire distribution networks, the global sports market is expected to grow from $369 billion in 2020 to $440 billion in 2021 at a compounded annual growth rate of 13.5%. The growth is attributed to companies rearranging and retransforming their operations and recovery from COVID-19 challenges. So it is such a privilege and a challenge that we are into an industry whose growth is faster than the global GDP or the global gross development product. And its long-term prospects appear to be strong in spite of the impact of pandemic. The global sports value chain has significant growth prospects for the future, considering the size, the makeup, and revenues. We don't wonder then that advertisers use sports as a prime marketing opportunity. Through sports sponsorship and advertising, we know that commercial brands have many opportunities to make their presence known. We don't wonder then that with that impressive lucrative picture of the global sports industry, we can say, or I could gladly urge, that sports business is an area that both the Philippine government and private sectors consider building up to greater heights. Sad though that the sports industry in the Philippines is yet having that attention and a lift it deserves. With its market prospects, the sports industry can become among the country's major contributors for economic development. On top of that, sports business is a multifaceted area, but it is dynamic, large scale, and incredibly rewarding if you love sports. So let's look forward to seeing soon or in the near future, the business of sport as the choice of greater number of investors, from our young entrepreneurs to the big brand names and companies. We hope to have our designers, innovators, and SMEs create and produce locally designed and locally made sporting goods and products with laws and national trade policies more protective of this crop. We are yet to be in that level though, but the journey to being there or investing our time, attention, and resources in that 600 billion US dollar market is worth it. Thank you and welcome again to this world fastest growing business that is sports. Magandang hapon po muli sa inyong lahat.
Maraming salamat po, Commissioner Celia Kiram. Hindi ko po alam no kung sa mga participants natin if you catch that, pero marami po magandang insights na sinare sa atin si Com Celia. Looking forward no sa ating pong guest speaker and sa isa-share sa atin ngayong hapon na ito. And alam niyo po, today's session is one of the many lectures that we will be having para po sa first phase ng National Sports Summit. Said earlier, ang ating pong sports conversations will be presided over by figures from the local to the international sports scene, delivering short lectures in the online conference format. And afterwards, we are having an open forum para po to gather your insights and views as a synthesis for every session. Having said that, ang ating pong topic for this session po would having played basketball from high school to college and winning several titles and awards, ang ating pong guest speaker will share with the participants how she found numerous business opportunities in the sport of basketball. Her insights will aid in understanding the values that will open doors after a sporting career ends and the ways in overcoming challenges in a sport business. Ang ating pong guest speaker for this afternoon is a multi-awarded athlete, coach, athletic coordinator, and now an owner of her own enterprise, Sol Sporting Goods. Before venturing into business, ang ating pong guest speaker is a former national women's basketball team head coach behind the 2010 Southeast Asian Basketball Association Championship, second runner-up finishes at the 22nd Hanoi and 21st Kuala Lumpur Southeast Asian Games, respectively, and taking home the silver medal at the 2011 installment of the biennial sporting event, among others. Furthermore, she prior shared her expertise as an assistant coach from 1998 to 2004. The experienced coach also served for the women's basketball team successes of UST, Enderun Colleges, Lyceum University, Ateneo de Manila University, and Immaculate Conception Academy at the UAAP, International Leagues, and National Women's Basketball Cups. Ang ating pong guest speaker is also a former national team member herself, taking part in the 17th Southeast Asian Games held in Singapore. She graduated with a degree in pharmacy from UST, University of Santo Tomas, and was a four-peat UAAP champion from 1987 to 1990. Grabe to. And also, she empowered through her experience in sports and now a self-made businesswoman. Ang ating pong guest speaker has always been a staunch supporter of women in sports and in equality. Can we all welcome ang ating pong guest speaker for this afternoon, Coach Heidi Kong. Magandang hapon, ma'am.
Magandang hapon. Thank you for the wonderful introduction, Joash. And of course, nagpapasalamat tayo sa Philippine Sports Commission, headed by our chairman, William Butch Ramirez. And thank you po, Commissioner Celia Kiram, for that wonderful opening statement. Talaga nung sinabi niyo po yung $600 billion investment or for sports, parang ayoko na talaga isara tong tindahan ko. But when si Jem Valeriano called me up, tinanong niya ako kung if I could lecture about business and sports. Tinanong ko siya, are you really sure? For your information, hindi po ako si Rubina Gokong Wei. Ako lang po ay si Coach Heidi Ong. I'm just starting also with my small business. So I hope this afternoon, I can inspire and help you through my journey and experience po as a coach and as a former athlete as well. Um, Gusto ko rin pong magpasalamat sa lahat ng nandito ngayong hapon, yung mga taga DepEd, mga teachers po natin, mga taga LGU. Saludo po ako sa inyong lahat dahil ngayon po we're experiencing a difficult time during pandemic. Everybody is adapting and being creative. Kami rin po as coaches, we do the same thing. So kaya po natin 'yan, konting tiis na lang at matatapos din po ang pandemya na 'to. So, ready na po ba kayo? Start?
Yes, ma'am. Naka-thumbs up na po sila. I think they're good.
Okay. So, I'll start my share screen po.
There.
Okay, so the title for my lecture today po is Business Opportunities in Sport. So, good day po to everybody again. Let me start by saying po na my introduction. A handful of successful athletes face difficult challenges po in life after they retire po from the sporting arena. They're usually too old to apply for a new job, or they don't have the skills, the education, or even experience to start a new career. And most often po, they never even thought seriously about their lives after sports. Yun po yung pinaka sad thing about it, 'di ba? After po ng pagiging atleta or pagiging coach, they don't know what to do after po. So these days po, the workforce aspirants are filled with applicants that have masteral degrees or sometimes doctorate pa nga po on their resumes, and former athletes and coaches po um, nahihirapan po sila to make those transition. They don't just feel competent or confident enough to be successful. So let me start by telling you something about me and my past, how I started my career in sports, both as a player, as a coach and administrator, and then how I eventually found opportunities po in business through sports. Now, on to my life story. Life story lang po, wala pong love story ngayon. This is me po in 1970. Okay, so medyo alam niyo na po kung anong edad ni Coach Heidi. I'm 20 years old plus 31 years of experience. So I am 51 right now. So nakita niyo po yung picture ko po, black and white pa, pero cute naman po ako nung maliit. Actually, wala naman hong hindi cute nung bata. So ayan po ako. I have 6 siblings. I am the 5th child among 7. I am very close with my papa, and I usually tag along with him po during weekends. Yung papa ko po usually is my inspiration pag nagbabasketball siya. Used to play basketball and a varsity player po of Philippine Cultural High School. So siguro dun ko po naman na yan. So ayan ho, I got you sa mga childhood pictures ko po. So medyo malaking pamilya po kami. My youngest sister po and my one and only brother are into swimming naman. They are also varsity players po of the University of Santo Tomas. And my youngest sister po also played for the national team. Okay, nag-swim po siya. Sabay po kami nag-SEA Games during that time nung sa Singapore. She is a medalist of Southeast Asian Games, and she was a record holder po of 100-meter butterfly during her time. So our family po talaga are into sports, okay? So I was lucky enough po to have been born with my parents running a retail store at Raon. Pero ngayon po, wala na po kami doon in Santa Cruz, Manila. It's just a stone thrown away from our house selling sports items. So usually kung sinong familiar po sa Raon, makikita nyo doon po yung mga bola, basketball, volleyball, trophies. Magkakatabi ho yan yung mga tindahan dyan sa Raon. And I grew up playing basketball doon po sa 5th floor ng building namin. with friends and neighbors, and having gained that skill, I played for my high school alma mater, which is Chiang Kai-shek College. And I am fortunate po to say that yung athletic career ko was honed by magagaling na mentor. So this is Coach Yolanda ko, a former national team player as well. So after graduating po from high school, I played for the University of Santo Tomas, and I played and I won numerous championship in the UAAP. Medyo flex ko lang po to. Yung nasa gitna po is our head coach, the late and Olympian Orly Bauson. And our assistant coach po during that time is Coach Peketan, which is she was also the first female national coach of the Philippine team. Dun po sa farthest right po is our PE, our director, si Mr. Cordero during that time. Hindi ko po alam bakit po kami pinagpictorial sa football field. Hindi naman po kami soccer player, but I think gusto nila makita po yung background, which is the main building. As you know po, UST is the oldest university in Asia. So I think yun po yung prestige that we have playing for UST. Yung nakabilog po, yan po si Coach Heidi. And for those yung information, yung nasa taas ko po, yan po si spokesperson po ng DOH, si Yusek Vergere. So pag nakita niyo po si Yusek, nagba-basketball din po yan. But ngayon po, speaking in front of you, ako po ang MVP during that time. Hindi po most valuable player, but most balyador player po. So, after I played for the under 18 before playing for the women's team. So I'll show you some of the pictures as well. My coaches were Coach Arlene Rodriguez, who was a former head coach of Shell team in the PBA, and Coach Francis Rodriguez. So nakikita niyo po yung number ko po dyan, number 7. Hindi po yan kay Jaworski dahil po 7, dahil 7 po kaming magkakapatid. So I graduated Bachelor of Science in Pharmacy in the University of Santo Tomas. Pagpasensyahan nyo na po yung litrato ko. Yan po ang mga usong hairdo during that time, during the 90s. Kung dati po ay cute si Coach Heidi, ngayon parang acute na po. And passed the pharmacy licensure exam a few months after graduating. So licensed pharmacist po ako. 2 years after my graduation po, I came back to UST po as assistant coach. And this started po my journey as basketball coach. For 6 years po, I was an assistant coach for the national team under kay Coach Bay Cristobal. And 3 years after that po, I became the head coach of the Philippine women's basketball team. This picture is very memorable for me po and for the Discovery Perlas because this was held in Ninoy Aquino Stadium in 2010 po. This was the first gold medal po after more than 3 decades for women's basketball in a Southeast Asian stint. So I'm very proud and honored to show you na yung women's basketball po during our time, medyo umangat na po yung performance natin. Okay pa kayo, na? In 2013, I started coaching the Enderan colleges po, and I started their program. And with God's grace, we are 5 feet in Waksa and 4 feet in Naasku. For those who don't know po, baka hindi nyo Enderan, saan po ba yan? Ito po yung nasa Taguig. And for your information po, ito yung eskwela po na napakamahalang tuition. So, yan po. I'm very proud po to start the program of Enderan Colleges. And in 2016, I came back po sa UST, which is my alma mater. In the last UAAP season po, we finished as runner-up. So, I was a player still a head coach. And now I'll show you po the other side of a managerial side of me as an administrator in the sport, of course, that I love, sa Immaculate Conception Academy po. Now, sa mga participants po, I want this to be interacting po. So sinabi po ni Joash late kanina, if you have questions po, just type in lang dun po sa chat box and I'm willing po to answer. So from 2014 po until the present, I am the athletic coordinator of ICA. I created their 9-year program in sports, and I am honored po that the administration of ICA trusted me on doing this. And of course, to who still don't know, meron na pong professional league, first professional league for women's basketball in our country. Along with the 5-on-5, along with the 3-on-3, 3x3 and 1v1 po, I will be the league commissioner po for the WNBL for 1v1 and 3x3. And I'm proud to say po, last Saturday, we launched the 1 versus 1 po in Pampanga. And hopefully po, every leg, every month, we'll do the 1v1 and 3x3. And soon po, the 5 versus 5. So this is another platform po for women's basketball to showcase their talent po dito sa WNBL. So what is the point of all of this? Why do you have to know my journey? 'Di ba? Bakit kailangan ko po sabihin to sa inyo? Sabi nga po ni Chris Aquino, because the sport that I love has helped me sustain our family business, and now I have my own company. So ang tanong, how did I do it? I will tell you on the last part po of my talk. For the next few slides po, okay, let's be a little bit technical po. I'll be talking about the 10 tips po for starting a small business. Most of it, maybe you have not heard of, okay? Joash, pwede ba akong mag-request after my 5th tip? Meron lang ako akong papagawa sa aking mga participants na
Yes, ma'am.
exercise.
Yes,
Okay,
ma'am.
thank
Pwede,
you.
pwede.
Okay, thank you. So if kung pwede later on after the 5th tip, pwedeng i-unmute sila because I want to hear their voices.
Sige po, ma'am.
Okay, number 1. Okay, address your excuses. So if you really want to start a business, address the reasons you think you can't start one and get rid of them. So you can have results or excuses but never have both. Parang sa basketball din po, sinasabi ko sa mga atleta ko all the time, you can have a bad offensive day but never a bad defensive day. So if you want to become an entrepreneur po, you'll have your fears and excuses. If you really want to start a business, address the reasons you think you can't start a business and get rid of them, and find the solution to the issue rather than let it hold you back. Okay, so number 2, absorb everything. Okay, be open to all knowledge. Listen to what people have to say. Sabi nga nila, 'di ba, you have to be a sponge, 'di ba? Absorb so much, okay, before it starts leaking. So listen to what other people have to say. Your family members, your friends, especially experts from that business, when it comes to things that you have to do with your entrepreneurial goals. So just like in basketball po, parati ko po itong sinasabi, be coachable. So lahat po ng ginagawa ko rin sa aking negosyo, parang nagawa ko na po yun during my basketball journey. So yun po yung maganda, parang naia-apply ko po siya. So number 3, ito ko, favorite ko to. Be the solution. So instead of starting an idea on what to sell, think of a problem and try to solve it. So example ko po nito, when I go out of the country, especially po yung mga first world countries like sa Europe, sa US, sa China, or whatever, yung mga countries na magagaling po sa sports, okay? You see their training facilities. You see that they have world-class coaches, okay? And number 3 po, they have a very good quality equipment that they are using. And these are not available po in the Philippines. Then, ako po, yun yung problema na sinolve ko. That you can start, ako po, I start importing these equipments on various sports to help the athletes in the Philippines. So, ibig sabihin, you understand your motives, what brand you will create, know what problems that you want to target, di ba? And how you can solve them. So, instead of ano kaya bebenta ko? Ano kayang mabenta? So, dapat po isipin natin anong problema and then let's try to solve that problem. Yun yung gawin natin na negosyo. So, okay ba yun sa atin? So, number 4, keep it simple po. Do not overcomplicate your business idea. Start on a very small scale before getting all out. Meaning, to build a successful business, di ba po, you must start small and dream big. Ulitin ko po ito ulit. You must start small and dream big. So, a new business owner, try to start small and dream big. Create simple lang. Simple, a good quality, and a good quality service. So a successful business idea po should fulfill promises. So pag sinabi nyo po na itong araw is your delivery date, make sure po tumutupad po tayo sa usapan sa ating mga customer. When we say we will deliver this item na ito ang quality, ito po dapat ang i-deliver natin. So meaning we have to fulfill our promise to our customers and sometimes we have to exceed their expectations. Meaning, if you say Friday and you can deliver it by Wednesday, so much the better po. So it will be easier for us to add to your business as it grows. So maliit lang po muna, wag po tayong maghangad kagad ng malaki. Okay? So keep it simple. Importante po ulit, good quality and good quality service. Number 5, count the cost. So, importante ho, budget na to. Once you start to develop your business idea, add up how much it will cost. Okay? So, meron na ho tayong business idea. Alam na ho natin yung solusyon dun sa problema. Alam na ho natin yung brand na gusto natin ibenta. Ngayon, we will budget kung ano po yung mga business expenses necessary to launch and operate our business. So ano po yung kasama ng mga to? If you don't have office space right now, baka pwede niyo gawin yung office, yung sa bahay ninyo na isang office space, di ba? But kung wala po, we have to rent, find the location. So yung mga supplies, marketing, and etc., yan po yung kailangan natin na mga business costs. So let's put up an educated number, okay? Then take whatever you think the amount. Ito po yung tip ko po sa inyo. And then times 4 nyo po. So for example, your cost is 20,000. So pag times 4 po is 80,000. Bakit ko po to sinasabi na i-times 4 niyo po? Seriously po, bakit times 4? Because in my experience po, during the launch po ng mga business ko last year, okay, may mga unexpected costs po ako in running a business. So, it's better po to be prepared na meron po tayong extra money para hindi ho tayo mabitin sa pagbukas natin ng negosyo. So, before I go on to my number 60 tip, Joash, okay, mayroon muna tayong commercial, may McDonald's po tayo.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Can I can I see the the gallery of the
Yes, ma'am, you can po.
Sure.
There-
Okay, that's good. So meron lang po akong exercise kasi baka inaantok na po kayo.
Yan. We are requesting everyone, ma'am, I'll go in. We are requesting all our
Sige po.
participants to buksan niyo po ang inyong mga video
Thank you
cameras.
po.
And
Thank you.
also to we are starting to unmute one by one yung mga participants natin.
Short
Pero please,
exercise, yeah.
meron tayong short exercise. Go ahead, ma'am. If you can-
Okay. So hindi na po ako magpapa-stretching sa inyo. Okay, kung maka-open po kayo ng video. So parang nasa basketball arena po tayo. So when I say, sandali lang sir, para talagang nasa Araneta Coliseum ako. Okay. Pagka sinabi ko pong,
Uy.
hello Araneta!
Hello, Araneta.
Oh, sorry. Okay.
Hello,
Sisigaw po
Araneta.
tayo. Pag nasinabi ko po na, hello, Araneta! Ang sisigaw
Hello,
po.
Araneta. Hello, Araneta. Hello, Araneta.
Ako, hindi po kayo.
Araneta.
Hello, Araneta.
Hello, Araneta.
Wait po, ha,
Hello,
wait.
Araneta.
Hello,
Araneta.
Ma'am,
So,
sir.
okay po, no? Alright.
Kasi nakikinig yung iba.
Okay. Ayan, I think everyone is muted muna, no? Okay, siguro ma'am, give out muna yung instructions tapos tsaka tayo mag-i-unmute yung lahat. Go ahead, ma'am. Yan,
Ma'am,
ma'am.
sir, follow instruction po kasi pag you're not following instruction, wrong answer po yan, ma'am, sa DepEd, di ba po? So, pagka ang instruction ko po, sorry, excited, so talagang hindi pa natutulog. Pag sinabi ko pong, hello, Araneta, ang sasagot nyo po, hi, di. Okay? So, pag sinabi ko uli, hello, Araneta, ang sisigaw nyo po, hi.
Hi, Di.
Okay? So, gagawin po natin na parang
Hi, Di.
nasa Araneta po tayo. Sir Joash, pa-unmute na po. Dalawang beses lang po. Okay?
Okay. Ready guys, ha?
Hello, Araneta!
Hi, Di. Hi, Di. Hi, Di.
One last time po. Hello, Araneta!
Hi, Di. Hi, Di.
Okay, maraming salamat po.
Alright, thank you po. Thank you, everyone.
Okay, hindi pa natutulog sila, ma'am tsaka sir. Very good po. Attentive pa po. Okay, we go to number 6 po.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, number 6 po tayo. Imagine yourself with zero money. So, eto po, kailangan po natin to gawin. Dahil with the time na nagkaroon ho ng COVID and pandemic, it's a good idea po to come up with a just in case worst outcome happens plan. What do I mean po by zero money? Okay, the high probability that this will happen, over half of our new businesses ngayon po fail po within the first 5 years of opening. So, how would you handle po having no income money? Just like today po na pandemic. So, marami pong nagsara ng mga negosyo. Who would imagine po na may makikita po kayo na mga McDonald's na nagsara, Jollibee na nagsara. So, it's a good idea po talaga to come up with just in case wala hong pumasok na income. It's over a year na po itong pandemic. So, it will really happen. So, kailangan meron tayong zero money plan. Okay? So, meaning again, dun sa, connected po to dun sa number 5, na you have to quadruple your budget. Kasi, when this zero money or zero income comes in, 'di ba? Meron po tayong bubunutin, meaning we have to be prepared. Yun lang po. Just the same in sports, if you don't prepare for your opponent, 'di ba? You are prepared to lose. So ganito rin po sa negosyo. Kailangan ho preparado tayo. Number 7, earn while you build. So, ako po, I am very lucky. that I have my day job. So I really take advantage po during this pandemic talaga po na mas maganda po talaga if you have your day job and then you transition po gradually to your business. So anong ibig sabihin nito? Parang may mga sideline po tayo. A side hustle brings more financial freedom and flexibility po into your life. So if you want to start a small business po, ang payo ko po, don't quit your day job po muna. Because launching a successful startup is a process po. Hindi po to overnight yung negosyo. Hindi ho pagkabukas ninyo, yayaman ho tayo kagad. Usually ho, ang negosyo may ups and downs din po. So, build your business po in stages and gradually you transition from being an employee to an entrepreneur. So, once you have a healthy inflow na po of your cash from your company, siguro po you can tackle your business ownership full-time. So, yun. So, number 8, speak up about your business. So, this is what I'm doing right now po in front of all of you. Be ready to speak confidently about your business, even it makes you uncomfortable. So, your voice is your power. So, speak up and be heard. Hindi lang naman siguro sa negosyo to. I think it address to general in our lives, di ba? But one challenge many business owners face po is they don't know how to sell their product or their brand. So if you're worried po what people will say, okay, about your business, kailangan po you need to get over it. Okay? If you can't convince your consumers to buy from you and support your company po, it's difficult po to make money. So if you really want business to be successful, okay, you can't afford to be shy. So hindi ho tayo pwedeng maging mahiyain. Dapat po medyo makapal ang mukha natin, 'di ba po? So if you want your company to succeed, okay, you get out of your comfort zone. Number 9, ito po importante din po to. Know the legal requirements of starting a business. Okay, we have and we must follow government regulations and requirements po in opening your business. So, excited po talaga tayo to open up our business. But of course, meron ho tayong mga rules and regulations sa ating gobyerno that we have to follow. You need to understand the rules that comes with opening the business. If you fail to follow government regulations po, 'di ba? Baka meron pa ho tayong matanggap na mga penalties. You need to register your business with your city or barangay, and you must also take care of specific tax liabilities. And if you hire workers, you need to follow employer laws. Okay? The rules that apply to you depends on your city or barangay po and industry. So ako po, and when I started my small business, I hired an accountant po as may expert po tayo, at least nag-guide po tayo to set up our company. So, yon. And number 10 po, balance passion with wisdom. So don't let passion take over your decision and be guided po with knowledge. Importante po to. Yes, may passion po tayo. Talagang hardworking po tayo. Umaga pa lang, maaga tayo gumigising, pero wala ho tayong knowledge about doon. I'll give you an example po, kahit po may pera. May mga OFWs po ako na mga kaibigan, nag-ipon, matagal pong nag-abroad, nagtrabaho. Pagdating po dito sa Pilipinas, because they have the money and they have the passion, okay, nagtayo po kunyari ng water refilling station. But unfortunately, yung water refilling station, hindi siya tamang lokasyon or whatever reason, nalugi, naubos ang pera. So, wala ho siyang knowledge kung anong negosyo ang kailangan niya, anong negosyo ang dapat dun sa lugar niya. So, importante po, yung passion and knowledge, okay, are paired together. Okay? pag yung passion po is not paired with knowledge, okay, mahihirapan po tayo. So both are necessary, okay, and each makes the other more valuable. Okay, your passion will consistently drive to improve your process as your business grow. So don't let passion take over your decision. Passion will move you forward, but knowledge will point you to the right direction. So sa basketball po, play hard but play smart. Hindi ho pwedeng wala yung isa. Okay? So for the last part po of my talk, I will tell you the values that I think help in my everyday life, especially po in sports and in business. So late in life po, I realize po a very few people remember who won that last 5, 10, 15 years NBA champions. So Joash, I'll ask you, can you still remember who is the NBA 1975 champion?
Hindi po ma'am, hindi pa po ako pinanganak by that time.
O sige, 1985.
Hindi pa rin po ma'am.
Okay. 1995.
Hindi pa rin ma'am.
Okay. So what I'm trying to say po is, yes, winning is great. Yes. At that very moment. But for me, it's the relationship and friends that you forge during your journey is what will sustain you after. So having put premium po on putting or on treating people I work with and play against, okay? Treating them with respect, treating with appreciation, recognition, support, and most especially po, with love and care. Treating my players with dignity and respect, putting their well-being first is one thing po I did right in the past. Siguro yung appreciating everyone I come across with and making sure po that I make the connection with them. Kahit po yung mga coaches na nakalaban ko din po, always keeping in touch with them sincerely, valuing their friendship, helping them when they are in need, has given me po good or if not great connections with other people. As the saying goes nga po, the time to make friends is before you need them. Ulitin ko po, importante po to. The time to make friends is before you need them. So, yung sinabi ko po kanina with my players, I will add pa po something very important to me. When I recruit athletes po, especially in the provinces, I talk to their parents all the time. Why po? Because usually po, pag babae po ang nire-recruit ko, mahirap po sa mga parents na i-trust at ibigay sa inyo yung mga anak nila. Not like pag lalaki po. So I usually recruit, go to their house and talk to the parents. And I always tell them po, when I recruit athletes from the provinces, that I value the character and integrity after nila po graduate sa university. The championships po or the trophies, the gold medals are just secondary or bonuses for me. Ang importante po for me sa mga atleta ko ay maging mabuting tao po sila after. So let me continue po that with great connections po comes with great opportunities. So this is where our small store po sa Raon with my parents have put up came into great play. Having dealt with honesty with our customers and suppliers, we were at a very good standing business-wise. And using the connections my family has developed through the years, I can comfortably look for, find, and take advantage of these opportunities with my connections po. They are the ones po who sought and presented these business opportunities, knowing that I am trustworthy and have integrity, making them want to do business with me po. Also, I always tell my players to give back to the school, to the group, to the community as servant leaders. importante po to, the giving back attitude. As Mother Teresa have said, if you cannot feed 100 person, why not feed one person? Nothing is ever small. Blessings are always magnified 100-fold, especially because they are shared. Okay? So, kami, when I started my business, kung hindi po kaya tumulong ng isang team, I can support only one. Go share. Share your blessings. It's always magnified 100-fold because it's always shared. So if you ask me po, what is my secret? Well, there is none po. One just has to be true, to do well and help other people, make a mark in their lives so deep that when they finally succeed po, they would think back and remember the good things you showed them and how good you have been to them, that they would want you to succeed with them. Then opportunities will open for you. Then use your discretion po, which opportunity you wish to take. So again po, make a mark that in their lives na so deep po that when they finally succeed, gusto nila kasama niya po kayo. Do everything with great love. As they say po, make sure you always put other people first because it is in taking care of others that we take care of ourselves. Ulitin ko po, because it is in taking care of others that we take care of ourselves. I believe good things happen to those who are good. Good things happen to those who are good. My heart is full today po, hoping that somehow you will remember the values and principles that I have shared with you this afternoon. I remember when I was starting as a head coach, I was so eager to get that gold medal in the first Southeast Asian game for women's. I know we won that gold, but God has always a reason why he tweaked it and gold was not given to us. Sometimes po, God has a better plan for us. No, it's not sometimes. All the time, God has better plan for us. And like I always said po, it was never about the championship or the gold medals. God has better plans. Silver linings are always paths po that lead us to greater and more meaning glory in His name because life po is never about us. So before I end po, I want to share with you my favorite quote. Leave a heart print in every heartbeat that you encounter. So I hope po I left a heartprint in your heartbeat this afternoon. Thank you so much and mabuhay po kayong lahat. Maraming salamat po.
Thank you very much. Maraming salamat po to our guest speaker, Coach Heidi Ong. And grabe yun. I hope na-catch yun ng mga participants natin. Just to give a very quick recap of the Miss Heidi's lecture about business and sports. Habang tumitila po yung mga manok dito sa lugar namin, I'll give you the 10 tips. I'll just give a few recap. Sabi po ni Ms. Heidi to first tip to address ang ating po mga excuses and how can we find solution in that. Sabi niya, we can have our bad offensive days, but we can never have a bad defensive day. So also she said that we should also absorb everything, lahat po ng mga knowledge from people around, especially yung mga experts po and in the context of our starting our business. She also mentioned for us to be a solution. Tayo po yung maging solution. Instead of starting an idea on what to sell, isipin po natin kung ano yung mga problema na kailangang masolusyonan. Not within ourselves, but within yung pangailangan po ng ating community. Sinabi rin ni Coach Heidi to keep everything simple. Huwag po natin overcomplicate yung mga bagay-bagay on our business. And you must start small, but dream big. We also, very important reminder din po, no, she mentioned to count the cost. Kailangan po maging technical tayo on this end to count our cost. And meron siyang tip na binigay to multiply everything by 4, especially mga puhunan po natin. We'll dive more on that later with Coach sa ating open forum. Ano. She also mentioned to imagine yourself with zero money, and we should earn what we build. And sinabi rin niya, no, the latter parts, to speak up about our businesses katulad po ng kanyang ginagawa, and know the legal requirements of starting a business. Mahalaga po yan. Meron po we had our sports legislation in the Philippines a few sessions ago with Attorney Alberto Agra, and siguro maganda rin ipagbangga yun, ano, kung may mga natutunan natin sa ating mga participants. And last, to balance passion with wisdom. Maganda pong point yan, and winning is great at the very moment, pero yung relationship po that we build with other people, yun po ang mahalaga. That being said, maraming salamat po again, Coach Heidi, for sharing those ang daming quotable statements that I'm very sure na nag-grasp ng ating mga participants. But habang hina-absorb pa yan ng ating mga participants, we will take this time to fill out ang ating pong evaluation and attendance verification forms. Yan po ay will be available sa ating pong chat box as we speak. As I mentioned, napakahalaga po sa amin na lahat po ng ating participants ay mag-fill out ng forms na ito. This will be the basis of your presence today, and also a session certificate. And a session certificate will be given for each session, and meron pong additional completion certificate if you're one of those na makakapag-complete po ng ating sessions for batch 4. There you have it. Nakita ko na po sa ating chat box ang ating forms. We're giving you a couple of minutes para po i-fill out yan. And while you're filling that out, and kung kayo po ay tapos na, please send in your questions po, hindi po sa akin. Please send it sa ating pong facilitator 1 and 2 sa ating pong chat box. Hanapin niyo po sila dyan sa ating chat box right now. Facilitator 1 and 2, they will be gathering our questions right now for our open forum session. And all right, I think everyone is having their way na po, no, para makapag-fill out ng forms natin. If Coach Heidi is already available, Coach, is still there?
Yes.
All right. Ay, siguro po habang hinihintay natin yung mga participants natin na matapos, or some of them to finish yung fill out ng both forms, we will take this time na po to call some of our participants para talaga magkaroon tayo ng interaction. We haven't done this in a few sessions ago. At kung sino po ang may gusto to share their reaction, kung meron po mga nagrima sa inyo at the moment ng ating lecture with Coach, you can raise your hand and we will call you right away, and for you to share inyo pong reactions, and also if you have a question right away para masagot na po yan ng ating guest speaker. If you have a question, please use yung raise hand button sa ating Zoom right now para po we can formally acknowledge you as well. Meron bang nag-raise hand dyan? Meron bang gustong mauna na privilege na makapagtanong kay Coach Heidi? Alright. Okay, meron ba? Alright. If mukhang nahihiya ata sila, Coach. Mukhang nagustuhan nila yung participation kanina, Coach. Yung
Yes, excited lahat eh. Pwede pong magtanong, ha?
Alright. Coach Heidi, unahin ko na po, no? Ano po yung pinakamalaking... Ayan. Alright, sige. I will take this time para to call out si Mr. Reynaldo Reyes, one of our participants na super participant. Napapansin ko po si Sir Reynaldo, talagang very attentive every session. Sir Reynaldo, you can unmute and you can ask Coach kung ano po ang inyong katanungan.
Good afternoon po, Coach Heidi.
Good afternoon po, Sir Ray.
I hope you're well too and safe kung saan man po kayo naroon.
Salamat po. Kayo rin po.
Coach Heidi, ang tanong ko lang, kasi po in this time of the COVID-19, many of us po kasi, well, I for one was caught unprepared po. Medyo nagkabiglaan. I didn't see this coming personally. But siyempre po, for the family, we have to survive somehow. So, how would you advise po someone like me who wants to try it out when during these times of the pandemic where so much online activity is ongoing, but somehow po kasi there are two medyo challenge po ngayon sa akin is one is the computer technical knowledge and another is finances. So I don't know if it's still timely to go into business, but I would really want to try. How would you advise me on where to start and how to start, Coach? Thank you very much po.
Sir Ray, can I ask you some questions before I answer your question po? Are you a coach po? Ano po ang previous work nyo before the pandemic?
I am presently a coach, ma'am. I was teaching PE in the University of the Philippines, but unfortunately po kasi the PE that we were teaching was not included in the pandemic online setup.
Okay.
And so yun po, medyo nawalan po talaga ng pagkakakitaan po, Coach.
Okay. Ganito po sa survey, no? Before po ako magpayo sa inyo, what business would you want to take in? Let's start po muna with your previous job. So, ano hong PE ang forte nyo na tinuturo nyo po?
My PE subject po is in the sport po of 10-pin bowling po.
Okay. So, mahirap po talaga, di ba?
Yes po, Coach.
I am an athletic coordinator po of ICA. I face the same problem po. I have sports coaches po na hindi po ngayon nakakasweldo from ICA. So, what I did po as athletic coordinator po, I encourage I encourage po yung mga parents ko and my coaches to go online kasi yan lang po ang platform natin ngayon na pwede online, okay? Na encourage ko po yung mga parents na i-enroll po nila yung mga daughters nila for a particular sport that they want, okay? So in your sa inyo po is bowling, okay? Usually po nahirapan po ako sa sport na swimming kasi wala pong swimming pool na pwedeng pagpraktisan ng mga bata. Table tennis as well, at least, and din rin po yung sinasabi nyo po na bowling. So, I encourage nyo po, if you have po former students that would like to enroll online po, like your basic movements po in bowling, okay? And pwede po kayong mag-charge very minimal dun sa mga parents na would like to enroll their child po sa inyo. For sure po, there are specific movements that are different po for every sport na pwede nyo pong ituro yung 10-pin bowling nyo po. Number 1 po. Now, number 2 po, sir, with regards po dun sa challenge ninyo sa computer. Ako rin po ang naabutan ko po typewriter. Hindi po si Mac Pro, okay? So talaga po, sir, we need po talaga to adapt and learn. Kasi ito na po ngayon yung challenge for us. Kahit lang po mag-open kayo ng laptop and go through Zoom, paturo po tayo sa mga kaibigan natin na may alam or may mga anak. Kasi hindi po natin alam hanggang kailan po tong pandemic. So kailangan po maging handa po tayo. So at least matugunan po yung itong panahon na to kahit papaano ma-survive ho natin yung finances
Yes po,
natin.
Coach.
Opo. And lastly po, na-mention nyo po na it's all online. So usually po, sir, ngayon ho, yung mga essentials po talaga ang nabebenta online. So, kung saan ho kayo probinsya at sa tingin nyo po, yung commodity na yon, pagkain man, basta yung mga basic essentials po, na pwede nyo pong ibenta, let's
Yes
do it
po.
para po ma-survive po natin tong pandemya.
Thank you very much po, Coach. Very, very appreciated po.
Maraming salamat po, Sir Ray.
All right, thank you, Sir Ray Naldo. And I think Miss Coach Hinoco, yung the fact na nasa loob ng Zoom ngayon si Coach Ronaldo, ibig sabihin kaya niya makapag-adapt sa ating
Yes.
technology at this time. Meron nag-raise ulit ng hand, ma'am. Let me call si Sir Mark Cloma from Asafil. Sir, magandang hapon. You can unmute and you may present your questions po. I think si Sir Mark ay nag-send ng question sa amin. Sir Mark, siguro while you fix your audio, i-relay ko na lang po ang inyong katanungan kay Coach Heidi. Coach, ang katanungan po ni Sir Mark ay how do you manage po yung tatlong responsibilities in 3 different teams? Tapos meron po kayong business. So isang magandang katanungan po yan. No? I think yun yung tanong ni Sir Mark.
Maganda pong katanungan yan. If it's not pandemic, I will tell you my schedule po. In the morning po, I'll be at UST from 8 in the morning till 12 noon because ang practice hours ko po sa University of Santo Tomas is from 9 to 12. Okay? And then, magla-lunch break po si Coach Heidi. And then we'll go straight po sa Immaculate Conception Academy as athletic coordinator from 2 to 6 in the evening. And then after that po, I'll go straight to Taguig. So from Green Hills, so from España to San Juan, Green Hills, and then Green Hills to Taguig. In the evening po, I have 8 to 10 practices sa Enderan Lady Titans ko. So that's my schedule po every day. And walang pagod because it's my passion. So I don't treat that as a job. So sometimes you may feel bored, tired. Kailangan po natin ng break. Importante po yan sa buhay natin.
Alright, good. Magandang suggestion po yan. Babalik daw po si Sir Mark later. I think karoon siya ng interruption. Sabi ni Mr. Juan Beltran, I think one of our athletes and also media friend of ours, sabi niya po, question for Coach, ano po ang inyong biggest challenge and what did you learn from it? Coach Heidi.
Biggest challenge as athlete, as coach?
Mukhang general na to, ma'am.
General, okay. But I have many challenges in life. Siguro kaya tayo hanggang ngayon nakatayo. It's because of those challenges. During my time as athletes sa national team, wala po talagang suporta. Talagang kayod marino, sariling sikap, as they say. And when I was an assistant coach for the national team, ganun rin po, mahirap po ang suporta. You know naman po, especially for the private sectors, they usually support those who are medalists already. Pagka wala ka pang medalya, okay, you have to perform really well bago kanila susuportahan. So, I've learned that experience and I felt that experience na napakahirap sa mga atleta ko. That's why when I was appointed as head coach, I told myself, hindi na pwedeng maramdaman ng mga atleta ko yung naramdaman ko nung atleta ako. That's why my advocacy talaga for women in sports, grabe. Kailangan talaga i-empower natin. We don't have so much women leaders. We don't have so much women coaches. Okay? So I think when my voice is heard, I'm speaking not only for myself, but I'm speaking for the whole women here in the Philippines.
Nice, good point po, no, Coach Heidi. Meron po tayong ulit katanungan sa ating question chat box. Kayo po ay isang licensed pharmacist. Pwede naman po kayong magnegosyo to like a drugstore or kung ano pa pong related on your bachelor's degree. Pero bakit po sports? Bakit po kayo nag-venture dun sa sports industry po, sa business?
Actually, after ko mag-graduate and passing the licensure exam, nag-work ako as pharmacist, I think for two years. And then I was given the opportunity yung as coach nga for UST and for the national team. And I think dun talaga yung calling and passion ko for coaching. So I think dun ako nag-shift from being a pharmacist, 'di ba? And being a coach. And of course, siguro that's why napunta tayo talaga sa coach because my family, my parents talaga are into sports. I remember siguro 1973 may store na kami sa Raon maliit pa ako. So talagang naiinganyo yung pamilya mo syempre kung ano yung nakikita mo araw-araw, anong pinag-uusapan over dinner, over lunch na puro sport. Ang pamilya ko magkaaway pagka Crispa Toyota ang naglalaban. Alam mo 'yon? So masaya ang sports. It gives you discipline, it gives you love. So I think dito tayo napunta sa linya na to, dito sa sports.
We'll take this time, ma'am, para kasi may nag-raise po very special person po that joining us today that also raising her hand. We're gonna spotlight po ang ating National Academy of Sports Executive Director, si Professor Joy Reyes. Prof, I think meron po kayong something to ask ating mong guest speaker. Magandang hapon po.
Yeah, hi, Coach Heidi. I enjoyed your session today. It's very interactive. I know you are really living an example as a coach ng Philippine team, lalo na sa basketball, on how you elevated their performance from maybe a decade now, no. And of course, also being a national team, talagang you're such an inspiration also to the youth, no, even to your players right now. Pero actually hindi yan aking tanong. Actually ang tanong ko, no, since ano lang yun, comment lang yun because I've seen how you are and how you were when during your itong pagiging coach mo, no. But anyway, alam ko mahabang kwentuhan yan pag tayong dalawa. Ang ano ko lang ngayon, because with this pandemic situation, Coach Heidi, clothes are shut down. I mean, and the schools are shut down. Gyms are also madami ding mga gyms na nag-close din, no, because of our pandemic situation. I just want to ask, how are you able to manage yung business mo ngayon because you're into a lot of sports equipment business. So okay pa rin ba? Nakaka-keep up ka pa rin? How are we able to manage this your business in this situation, Coach Heidi?
Yeah, thank you, Joy. Napakaganda nung katanungan mo. Talagang pinapaisip mo talaga ako no. Si Madam po is a very good friend of mine. Matagal na po kami magkasama as national coach po. Yan po talaga ang tumutulong po sa amin sa lahat ng kailangan namin sa national team. Pero hindi po yan ang aking kasagutan sa kanyang katanungan. Yes, it's really challenging, Joy, because of course, yung mga private sectors that are are shut down, yung mga schools, private companies, di ba? Wala. But I think we are still lucky enough, kami, yung company namin, because yun nga, sinabi ko kanina, you have to go out of your comfort zone. So what did I did during this pandemic? I talked to LGUs, especially dun sa mga hindi masyadong naapektuhan ng COVID, and they're starting to do sports already, like Ilocos Norte. They have 2 beach volleyball tournaments already, and I'm fortunate na yung mga equipments nila, they got it from me, and I have upcoming project also here in Central Luzon. I'll be building a weights room for the province of Pampanga. So medyo kahit hirap, nagsusumikap tayo para magkaroon tayo, of course, ng sales pa rin sa company. So I think yung sinabi ko kanina, Joy, with my lecture, yung connections, very important, because you will know yung mga LGUs na mga kakilala mo and ask them if they need equipment, and yun yung first step na nagagawin ko para magkaroon ng proyekto yung aking kumpanya.
Actually, Coach Heidi, dun pa lang sa logo mo na Sol, ano? There is
Yes.
a bright, there's a sunshine, no? So, ibig
Yes.
sabihin, talagang, I think that's the meaning of it, ano? So, in every day, no, whatever our situation is, there's always sabi nga nila, there's always a light at the end of the tunnel. So, good luck, Coach, in your endeavor, and magkita tayo soon. Let's catch up soon. And congratulations to your presentation today.
Thank you, thank you. Maraming salamat.
Maraming salamat
Joy,
po.
thank you.
Ma'am Joy, Professor Joy Reyes ng National Academy of Sports. Dahil dyan, tatawagin natin, I think staff to ni Ma'am eh. Last one, before we go back to Sir Mark na kanina ay nakasama natin. Si Miss Princess Aguas, if I'm right.
Hello.
Hello, ma'am. Yes, go. You can say your question.
Joash,
Yes.
si Attorney Princess yan.
Attorney Princess. Sorry,
Attorney.
brother. Hello po. Go ahead po.
Hello, good afternoon, everybody.
Afternoon po, ma'am.
Coach, good afternoon po. I would just like to ask, have you ever experienced discrimination being in a male-dominated profession? If yes, can you give us some pointers on how you were able to handle it?
Usually, ma'am, it's not discrimination na it's more on the support na hindi siya even. I think it's not only here in the Philippines. If you've learned and read about the last March Madness dun sa NCAA, which concerns yung women's basketball and the men's basketball with regards to their weights equipment, 'di ba? So after nag-blown out siya sa media, nahiya yung mga NCAA organizers, so dinagdagan nila yung equipment. That's why, attorney, it is parang my duty, okay, as a women's coach, as a basketball, okay, let me start for my sport, na I see to it, we minimize the gap nung sa men's basketball. So, during my time, nung kunento ko kay Joash kanina, medyo malaki talaga yung inequality in equipment, in sport, finances, etc. But eventually, through the years, and now that we have our own professional league for women's basketball, I think we are inching and decreasing the gap for the benefits nung sa men's basketball and for women's basketball. Let me add one more thing, attorney, no. I think yung pinakamalaking difference ngayon for women's basketball and men's basketball. They say kasi before na yung mga dunking, yung mga skills ng babae na hindi kaya gawin ng mga kababaihan. No, hindi lang sanay yung mga coaches na pagka tinuturuan yung mga women's basketball, sinasabi na nila on their mind, hindi nila kaya kasi babae sila. But in reality, what men can do women can also do it, especially in skills now in basketball.
It's a good point.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, Coach.
Thank you po, ma'am, for the question.
We're gonna call again another one from our friends at the National Academy of Sports. Si Miss Chris Hunasa, I believe, is raising her hand. Ma'am, if you have a question po, bago tayo mag-move doon po sa ating mga other questions that have been sent to us. Meron po ba?
Hi, good
Habang
afternoon.
Yes, sir. Sir, go ahead. Go ahead.
Hi, good afternoon. Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, Coach ID. Ayan po.
Good
So my
afternoon, sir.
question po, no, again, this is Chris from the National Academy of Sports. Question ko lang po, kasi it's very common for us in the sports arena po to help each other out. And oftentimes companies, they have this corporate social responsibility and partnerships po, no? Public and private partnerships. So we know po, meron po ba kayong ganong klaseng partnership with either an LGU, or do you support any team, whether it's private? And if so po, are you able to continue that kind of support in this pandemic situation po?
Usually, sir, like my team po, I'll give my example na lang sa University of Santo Tomas. Aside from the support that the school is giving us, of course, hindi po lahat kaya i-shoulder ng university. Like for example, every year I see to it that my team go out of the country for international exposure. So sinasubsidize po ng school 'yon. And I have to go out of my way and get private sectors, okay, to promote or to fund my team and my program. At the end of the day po, number one, the sponsors that you're be getting dapat you have the same values and principles po. Mahirap po kasi kumuha ng mga sponsorship, okay, na hindi po kayo tugma sa inyong mga prinsipyo at values. For the past, I think 15 years since I handled the national team, and ngayon po with the schools that I handle, si Discovery Suites po is my major patron po, yung mga Tew family. And up till now po, they're supporting the program, not only because of me, okay, but because they believe in the program, the values, and the principles po. So I think number one consideration po in getting your sponsors, your private sponsors po, is they know that you have a good, solid program. You have the values and principles the same with their companies po. And of course, yung trust with each other po in sponsoring. At the end of the day, I said a while ago, it's the relationship po that you build. That's why you will sustain all those sponsors.
All right. I think that grabe ang interesting questions, no, yung mga binibigay sa atin. And also, I hope may napupulot pa yung mga participants natin on this. Ngayon lang po ulit tayo nagkaroon ng ganitong very active participation from our participants. We appreciate that. And meron pa tayong mga send-in questions, ma'am. Hang on lang po tayo ng konti.
Sure.
Iko-connect ko na doon, ma'am, ano, sa connections with your clients, and also that how do you handle that, ma'am, on a business perspective? Kasi kilala niyo po yung mga kadil niyo eh. Kasi dahil dati also yung mga team members yan sila, mga athletes, ganyan. How do you deal with them po? Minsan ba may mga experiences po ba kayo na some of those deals hindi po go on your way, tapos minsan naman good, smooth naman po? Can you share with us? Baka meron po, ma'am.
Yeah, actually naman talaga, Joash, hindi naman lahat ng nilapitan mo na private sectors will say yes to you eh. 'Di ba? So, parang ano ka rin, every now and then, 'di ba, nagpapalit ka rin ng sponsors kasi like sometime meron lang a period of time that they will sponsor you for 2 years or a year, and then let's see, may mga companies kasi that they really want performance-based sponsorship, 'di ba? Meron naman because of talagang friendship, kakilala mo, 'di ba? Hanggang matapos yung program mo, they will support you. So, I think yun lang yun. At the end of the day, your integrity as a coach, your program is very solid para masustain mo tong estado na to so that the company will support you all the way.
All right. Ito, ma'am, I think we're gonna end with this. meron ano on a customer's perspective naman po. May mga suggestions and tips po ba kayo to remember before buying such materials, lalo na po pag nakikipag-transact sa mga sports businesses, ganyan po?
Okay. During the time of my parents, pag sinabi mong basketball or volleyball, parang may mga generic na mga bola lang, okay? So parang mumurahin lang siya. Okay? So when I sell my product, I ask my customers, specifically, kunyari, volleyball or basketball, saan nyo siya gagamitin? Is it for fun lang? Or may competition kayo, so we will know what to give them na quality of that specific na equipment that they need. So like pagka-international, of course, competition, lahat ng mga equipments has to be international standard. Okay, kasi hindi pwedeng low standard yung mga equipment mo. Especially like during Southeast Asian Games, Asian Games. So lahat yan merong mga, yung mga international federation have technical partner na equipment na brand. So yun yung mga kailangan mo i-deliver sa mga international competition. But of course, at the end of the day, yun nga sabi ko, if usapan natin is this is the brand that I will give you and this is the quality that I will give you, dapat yun yung ibigay natin sa consumers natin.
All right. I hope yung mga participants natin ay na-note nyo po yan, ano? At marami pong share sa ating insights and views ang ating pong guest speaker for our session 15. Thank you very much, Coach Heidi. And very cohesive po ang ating open forum. And alam niyo po, we are really bound by time restrictions. May mga questions and reactions pa po tayo na gusto nating masagot. Kaya po sinabi ko earlier na please, for those questions po that will not be answered, lahat po ito will be included in our data processing. And wala pong data that will be wasted every session po ng National Sports Summit. Everything will be turned over sa atin pong research. And we will now take this time to honor and award the Certificate of Appreciation para po sa ating 15th speaker for Sports Conversations. And to award the Certificate of Appreciation sa ating pong guest speaker, may I call on back ang ating PSA Commissioner for our Women in Sports as well, Commissioner Celia Kiram. We are trying to reach si Celia po, no? As of the moment. All right. Before we do so, ano po, habang hinihintay po natin si just like to recognize yung mga presence po ng ating mga participants na kasama po natin ngayon, no? I believe, all right, Go ahead,
Yeah, sandali lang.
Yes, ma'am. Go ahead po.
Okay na ako, Jowas.
All right,
mga
ma'am.
technical problem lang.
All right, ma'am.
Hi, Heidi, Coach Heidi. Congratulations.
Hi,
I'm so happy learning from you. And mabuhay ang mga kababaihan sa sports.
Salamat po.
Talagang idol ko to si Coach Heidi. So, and on behalf of the Philippine Sports Commission, we thank you so much. And with that, we would like to give the Certificate of Appreciation to Ms. Heidi Ong for her invaluable contribution as a resource speaker for the Business in Sports session of Sports Conversation, the first phase of the National Sports Summit 2021. This day, 26th of May 2021, via Zoom, signed William R. Ramirez, Chairman. Congratulations, Ms. Heidi, Coach Heidi.
Thank you,
mabuhay ka.
Thank you, Com. Hope to see you soon po.
Yes, oo. Sana wala na itong pandemic.
Opo. Stay safe po. God bless po. Stay safe.
Yeah, same with you.
Thank you very much, PSA Commissioner Celia Kiram.